Have you ever gone to bed thinking you were doing everything right for your health? Eating clean, staying active, even taking your vitamins, only to wake up feeling groggy, heavy, or even more inflamed? What if I told you there's a simple, common habit, one that millions of people do every night, that dramatically increases your risk of having a stroke? Not years from now, but quite literally overnight. In fact, recent studies have shown that this one behavior is linked to elevated blood pressure, hardening the arteries, and disruptions in brain circulation, all precursors to a major cardiovascular event. And the worst part? Most people think this habit is harmless. Some even believe it's healthy. So what is it? Late night eating, or more specifically, eating within 2 to 3 hours before bed, especially carb-heavy or high-sugar food. Yes, even that healthy fruit smoothie, bowl of cereal, or handful of crackers could be setting off a chain reaction inside your body that spikes your stroke risk while you sleep. Now, why does this happen? What's really going on inside your body that makes late-night eating so dangerous? Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Imagine your body as a city. During the day, there's traffic, deliveries, construction, all kinds of activity, but at night, everything slows down so the city can clean up, repair, and reset. That's your body's natural circadian rhythm. It wants to shift gears into detoxification, cellular repair, and deep metabolic healing at night. But when you eat late, especially sugar or starch, it's like throwing a huge party in the middle of the night. Suddenly, the roads are congested again, insulin spikes, blood sugar surge. The liver, which was supposed to be focused on detox, is now stuck trying to process a new wave of incoming calories. Inflammation goes up, blood vessels constrict, and blood pressure stays elevated. This environment makes the brain more vulnerable to clots, hemorrhage, and microvascular damage, the precursors to a stroke. What the research shows is that people who eat closer to bedtime have higher nocturnal blood pressure, reduced heart rate variability, a marker of stress and inflammation, and greater insulin resistance, all key drivers of stroke risk. So today I'm going to break down 6 critical insights about how late night eating harms your brain and your vascular system, why it's especially dangerous if you're over 40, insulin resistant, or sleep deprived, and exactly what you can do to reverse this risk naturally. We'll also look at specific foods that silently trigger this chain reaction, how to align your eating window with your body clock, and what the latest science says about fasting and stroke prevention. And if you're someone who's been trying to eat healthy, but still struggles with fatigue, brain fog, or stubborn belly fat, this is going to connect some dots for you. If that sounds valuable, consider subscribing. I share content like this every day to help you optimize your health naturally without medication. Let's get into it. Here's what's really going on inside your body when you eat late at night, especially carbs or sugar. When you consume food, especially something like bread, rice, pasta, fruit juice, or even a light snack like crackers or granola, your blood sugar naturally rises. In response, your pancreas secretes insulin. This hormone's job is to shuttle glucose into your cells and lower the sugar in your bloodstream. That's normal during the day, when your body's active, muscles are burning glucose, and energy is being used. But late at night, when your metabolism is winding down, your muscles are insulin resistant by design. Your body isn't primed to process incoming fuel. Instead, it's primed for recovery, not digestion. Now here's the problem. When insulin is secreted at night, it tends to stay elevated much longer than during the day. Why? Because you're not moving, your digestion is slower, and your cells are less receptive to insulin in the evening. Let me explain with a simple analogy. Imagine insulin as a delivery truck trying to drop off boxes of sugar to houses, your cells. During the day, the houses are lit up and the doors are open, ready to receive packages, but at night, all the doors are shut. The delivery truck keeps circling the block, stuck in traffic. Eventually, the truck just dumps the boxes on the lawn, leading to fat storage, inflammation, and cellular stress. That's what's happening when you spike insulin at night. Glucose isn't efficiently absorbed, excess sugar turns into fat, inflammation increases, and most critically, your blood vessels take a hit. What the research shows is that elevated nighttime insulin correlates with increased arterial stiffness, oxidative stress on blood vessel walls, and higher risk of endothelial dysfunction. The precursor to plaque formation and clotting, insulin also increases sodium retention in the kidneys, which raises blood pressure. Combine this with a sedentary state, and you now have the perfect storm for a vascular event like a stroke. A 2021 study in Nutrients found that individuals who ate their largest meal at night had significantly higher postprandial glucose and insulin levels, and worse endothelial function compared to those who ate earlier, even when calories were matched. Another study published in Hypertension found that nighttime blood pressure was significantly elevated in late-night eaters, even among people with otherwise normal daytime BP. So if you're eating late, even something healthy like fruit or yogurt, you may be triggering high insulin and high blood pressure while you sleep. Over time, this damages the delicate blood vessels in the brain, setting the stage for a stroke. Here's what you can do instead. Stop eating 3 to 4 hours before bedtime. This gives your body time to process your last meal before melatonin rises and insulin sensitivity naturally declines. Front load your carbs earlier in the day when your body is more insulin sensitive. This lowers the nighttime glucose burden and protects vascular integrity. Switch your dinner to protein, healthy fats, and leafy greens. Sleep a lot. Sleep is not natural, but I think it is the key. These foods support stable blood sugar and don't spike insulin the way refined carbs do. Add a gentle post-dinner walk. Just 10 to 15 minutes of light movement after your last meal can improve insulin clearance and drop your blood glucose dramatically, even before bed. Magnesium and berberine before bed can support healthy insulin metabolism if needed, but timing your meals right is the foundation. If this is helpful so far and you're interested in more actionable protocols like this, consider subscribing to my podcast, iScience-backed strategies every day to help you take control of your metabolic health naturally. Now that we've explored how late-night insulin spikes raise vascular stress, let's move to the second insight, how this habit disrupts your biological clock and confuses your brain's healing systems. Let's talk about your internal clock, your circadian rhythm, and how eating late can throw it completely out of sync. Your circadian rhythm is the master schedule that governs nearly every biological process in your body. When hormones are released, when your cells repair, when digestion shuts down, and when the brain detoxifies itself. It's all coordinated by a tiny region in your brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN. Think of it like the conductor of an orchestra. Everything, your liver, your pancreas, your gut, your brain, has its own section in the symphony. When your rhythm is in sync, everything plays in harmony. But when you eat late, it's like one section starts playing a different song at the wrong tempo. The entire system gets thrown off. Here's what's really going on inside your body. At night, your brain is designed to trigger a cascade of healing mechanisms. Melatonin rises, preparing the brain for deep sleep. Growth hormone pulses to repair tissues. The glymphatic system activates. This is your brain's drainage system, flushing out metabolic waste like beta amyloid and tau proteins. But late night eating interferes with all of that. Why? Because digestion and detox can't run at full power simultaneously. When you eat late, especially starchy or sugary foods, your body prioritizes digestion over repair. Insulin rises, melatonin gets suppressed, and the production of growth hormone is blunted. A 2022 study published in Cell Metabolism showed that eating outside your biological eating window delays the secretion of melatonin and shortens the duration of REM sleep, a key phase for brain restoration. Participants who consumed meals late had elevated core body temperatures and impaired glucose tolerance even when total calories were controlled. Another study in Frontiers in Neurology found that disruptions in circadian rhythm increase the risk of stroke not just through sleep disruption, but by altering blood pressure timing, coagulation factors, and endothelial healing. In other words, your stroke risk doesn't just depend on your cholesterol or age, it depends on when you eat and sleep. Here's a simple analogy to bring this home. Imagine your body as a factory. During the day, machines are running, packaging materials are being delivered, workers are moving, but at night, the lights dim, the machines shut down, and a cleanup crew comes in to sweep, sanitize, and restock. Now imagine that at 11:30 p.m., a new truck pulls in with another delivery, junk food, or even healthy carbs like oats, bananas, or sweet potatoes. The whole factory has to power back up. The cleanup gets delayed. Energy's wasted. That delivery disrupts the entire shift. This is what late night eating does. It confuses the clock. Your metabolism doesn't know if it should be repairing cells or processing calories. This metabolic confusion is especially dangerous if you're over 40, overweight, or pre-diabetic, because your circadian rhythm is already more fragile. Every late night meal pushes you further into misalignment. So what can you do? Anchor your first and last meals to daylight. Ideally, eat your first meal 1 to 2 hours after waking, and your last meal 3 to 4 hours before bed. This trains your body to align digestion with your circadian rhythm. Avoid bright artificial light at night. Blue light from screens suppresses melatonin. So does eating especially high glycemic food. Time your carbs earlier. Your insulin sensitivity is highest in the morning and drops at night. Eating carbs late in the evening spikes glucose more severely and disrupts sleep architecture. Try a 12-12 or 14-10 intermittent fasting rhythm. That means a 12-hour or 10-hour eating window, ideally starting in the morning and closing by early evening. These small shifts don't just improve your sleep, they protect your brain, your blood vessels, and your long-term health. Now that you understand how late night eating disrupts your biological clock, let's talk about something just as critical, your liver. And what happens when you overload it at the exact time it's supposed to be detoxing and protecting your brain from stroke risk. And here's something most people overlook. Your liver isn't just a digestive organ. It's your body's primary filtration system. And the timing of how you use it determines whether it protects you or slowly contributes to stroke risk. Every night, your liver enters a critical window of repair and detoxification. Between roughly 11 p.m. and 3 a.m., it clears out toxins, breaks down old hormones, processes cholesterol, and manages inflammatory signals. This is when your body cleans house. But when you eat late, especially sugar, alcohol, or processed foods, your liver can't do its real job. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Imagine the liver as a cleaning crew that shows up to scrub, sweep, and sanitize the kitchen after hours. But instead of finding an empty kitchen, the crew arrives to find dishes piled up, the stove still hot, and people still cooking. So now, they have to stop cleaning and start handling new messes. That's exactly what late night eating does. It forces the liver to switch from deep repair mode back to digestive mode, just when your body most needs cellular restoration. What's the consequence? A cascade of inflammation, oxidative stress, and impaired fat metabolism, all of which silently increase your risk of stroke. Here's what's really going on inside your body. Fat accumulation in the liver, NAFLD. Late night eating, especially high-carb meals, increases your risk of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. When the liver is overloaded with glucose and fructose, it converts the excess into fat. Over time, this fatty buildup causes insulin resistance and systemic inflammation, both major stroke risk factors. Inflammatory cytokines surge. When the liver is burdened overnight, it releases inflammatory cytokines like IL-6 and TNF-alpha. These molecules increase blood clotting risk and endothelial damage, two direct drivers of ischemic stroke, poor bile flow and cholesterol recycling. At night, your liver is supposed to process cholesterol and secrete bile. Late eating delays this cycle, leading to sluggish bile flow and increased LDL oxidation, making plaques more likely to form in the arteries. A 2023 study in Hepatology Communications found that disrupted liver metabolism due to late night calorie intake was associated with increased serum CRP and ferritin levels, both markers of vascular inflammation and higher stroke risk. Another study in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism showed that people with insulin resistance who ate late had significantly higher nighttime triglycerides, ALT, liver enzyme, and markers of hepatic stress. This all points to one thing. If your liver is overloaded while you sleep, your vascular system pays the price. So, what's the protocol to support liver health and reduce inflammation overnight? Stop eating at least 3 to 4 hours before bed. This gives your liver a clean runway to focus on detoxification rather than digestion. Incorporate bitter herbs and liver-supporting nutrients earlier in the day. Things like dandelion root, milk thistle, and artichoke help stimulate bile and support liver cell regeneration. Avoid fructose, especially late in the day. Fructose is metabolized directly in the liver and rapidly converted to fat. Skip fruit juices, sweet snacks, and even excessive healthy fruits like grapes or mango after dinner. Include cruciferous vegetables with dinner. Broccoli, kale, and Brussels sprouts support phase 2 liver detox enzymes, especially important as you age. Hydrate earlier, not late. Drinking too much water before bed can disrupt sleep, but staying well hydrated during the day helps the liver move waste out efficiently by nighttime. These steps help reduce your overall inflammatory burden while you sleep, which is exactly when stroke risk tends to spike in the early morning hours due to blood pressure surges and cortisol awakening response. If you're finding this helpful, consider subscribing. I post daily content to help you take control of your metabolism, brain health, and long-term vitality, naturally without medications. Now, let's dive into the nervous system. How late-night eating triggers fight-or-flight mode, disrupts sleep cycles, and leads to another invisible risk factor for stroke. One that almost no one is talking about. Let's connect another powerful piece of the puzzle, your nervous system. You may not realize it, but what you eat and when you eat it has a direct impact on your stress response, your ability to fall into deep sleep, and ultimately your brain's resilience against stroke. Here's what's really going on inside your body. Every time you eat, especially something high in carbohydrates, your body initiates a metabolic response involving blood sugar fluctuations, insulin release, digestive activation, and thermogenesis, heat production. All of this requires coordination between the parasympathetic and sympathetic branches of your autonomic nervous system. During the day, your body can manage this stress load, but at night, when your brain is supposed to downshift into a parasympathetic rest and repair, when your brain is supposed to cool down, you have a shift in your sympathetic branches. And so when your brain is supposed to downshift into a parasympathetic branches, this is when your brain is supposed to downshift into a parasympathetic branches. And so when your brain is supposed to downshift into a parasympathetic branches, this is when your brain is supposed to downshift into a state. Eating stimulates the sympathetic nervous system instead. That's your fight or flight mode. This is especially true if your late-night meal contains refined carbohydrates like bread, rice, or cereal, sugar, even in fruit or yogurt, alcohol, or high-stimulation foods like chocolate or spicy snacks. These foods spike blood sugar, raise heart rate, and increase cortisol, your primary stress hormone. That stress response keeps your brain more alert, your heart rate elevated, and your blood pressure high even as you try to fall asleep. A 2020 study in Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine found that consuming food within 1 hour of bedtime significantly reduced REM sleep duration and increased nighttime awakenings. Subjects also had higher nighttime cortisol and impaired heart rate variability, a key biomarker for nervous system balance. Why does this matter for stroke? Because REM sleep is when your brain performs critical neurological functions, memory consolidation, vascular repair, and flushing out toxins via the lymphatic system. Disrupting that phase increases oxidative stress and reduces your brain's ability to maintain healthy circulation and blood vessel flexibility. Plus, elevated cortisol overnight narrows arteries, raises blood pressure, thickens the blood, increasing clotting risk, and prevents parasympathetic rest mode from fully kicking in. This puts your body in a low-grade state of stress all night long, which is exactly why strokes often occur in the early morning hours when cortisol peaks. Let me give you a simple analogy. Think of your brain at night like a spa that's supposed to be closed, is scheduled for a full restoration service, massage, deep cleaning, repairs. But if someone keeps ringing the doorbell and demanding snacks, the staff never gets to finish the work. The stress builds, the mess piles up, and eventually something breaks. That break could be a stroke. So how do you shift back into parasympathetic mode before bed and allow your body to restore itself properly. Here's a simple protocol. No food within 3 to 4 hours of sleep. This ensures that your body can transition fully into sleep mode without digestive interference or glucose spikes. Limit screens and artificial light in the last 90 minutes of the evening. Blue light suppresses melatonin and keeps your sympathetic system activated. Try amber glasses or use night mode filters. Magnesium glycinate, 200 to 400 milligrams, taken 30 to 60 minutes before bed, can calm the nervous system, relax muscles, and improve sleep quality. Breathing exercises or a 5-minute wind down ritual. Box breathing, inhale 4, hold 4, exhale 4, hold 4, helps shift your body out of sympathetic mode quickly. Cut out hidden sleep disruptors. Avoid caffeine after noon, alcohol at night, and even healthy late night teas like green tea. They still contain stimulants. Keep your room cool and your routine consistent. Aim for a room temperature around 65 DE-CC and stick to the same sleep-wake times to reinforce circadian stability. If your body doesn't feel fully rested when you wake up, or if you rely on caffeine to function, that's a red flag. Chronic sympathetic dominance is wearing down your resilience and setting the stage for metabolic and vascular breakdown. You can't just rest more. You need to fix the timing of stress input, and that includes food. Now, let's zoom in even further. In the next section, we'll identify specific foods and eating patterns that quietly increase your stroke risk, even ones most people think are healthy, and how to swap them out without feeling deprived. Now, let's get practical. You've probably heard that sugar is bad for your health, but what's less talked about is when sugar or even healthy carbs are most dangerous. Here's what's really going on inside your body when you consume certain foods at night. Your metabolic rate is slower, insulin sensitivity is lower, your digestive system is winding down, and your body is trying to prepare for repair and detox. Not for another metabolic task, but when you introduce certain foods late in the evening, you create a metabolic conflict that quietly inflames your system, raises blood pressure, and increases your stroke risk while you sleep. Let's start with some of the most common offenders. 1. Healthy breakfast cereals and granola. Yes, even the ones labeled low fat or whole grain. These foods are highly processed and rapidly convert to glucose, spiking blood sugar and insulin. Eaten at night, they cause a delayed insulin response and promote fat storage in the liver. They also keep the nervous system activated when it should be winding down. Better option, a small handful of raw nuts or 1 to 2 boiled eggs earlier in the evening, rich in healthy fats and protein with minimal glucose impact. 2. Fruit smoothies or fresh juices. It's fruit, so it's healthy, right? Not quite. Blending or juicing fruits strips away fiber and delivers a big dose of fructose, which heads straight to the liver. This is especially harmful late in the day when liver function should be focused on detox, not storage. Late night fructose contributes to fatty liver and uric acid buildup, both linked to stroke. Better option, if you need something sweet, try a few berries with a spoon of plain Greek yogurt. Minimal sugar and much better for insulin. 3. Alcohol, especially wine or cocktails before bed. Alcohol initially acts as a sedative, but metabolically it spikes blood sugar, disrupts REM sleep, and increases dehydration and blood viscosity. Red wine, for example, raises acetaldehyde levels, a toxic compound that interferes with mitochondrial function and increases oxidative stress in the brain. Better option, wind down with chamomile or rooibos tea. They support liver detox and nervous system relaxation without the vascular toll. 4. High glycemic comfort foods like rice, bread, pasta. A bowl of rice, a piece of naan, or some leftover pasta might feel harmless at night, but these foods digest quickly into glucose and spike insulin when your body least needs it. These blood sugar surges increase clotting factors and reduce nitric oxide, a critical molecule for keeping blood vessels open and flexible. Better option, cauliflower rice, sautéed greens, or zucchini noodles with healthy fats and protein. They're blood sugar friendly and support vascular health. 5. Sweetened health snacks. Protein bars, trail mix, dried fruit. These often come disguised as healthy, but they're loaded with sugar, seed oils, and preservatives that generate inflammation and oxidative stress. When eaten late, these additives stay in your bloodstream longer and interfere with nighttime healing processes. Better option, a spoonful of almond butter or a hard-boiled egg. satisfying, stabilizing, and no insulin spike. It's not just about what you eat, but when. Many of these foods, while not terrible in the right context, become harmful when consumed at the wrong time, especially within 2 to 3 hours of bed. A 2023 study in Stroke Journal reported that individuals with higher nighttime blood sugar variability, largely driven by late eating and sugary meals, had double the risk of ischemic stroke compared to those with steady nighttime glucose. If you want to lower your stroke risk, protect your brain, and optimize metabolic healing while you sleep, start by eliminating these foods from your nighttime routine. Instead, use dinner as a metabolic off-ramp, a low-carb, anti-inflammatory, fat and fiber-rich meal that gently tells your body, we're done eating, it's time to rest. Now that you've seen what not to eat at night, in the next section I'll share a complete protocol, a practical strategy to reverse this stroke risk naturally by aligning your meals, habits, and recovery windows with your biology. So now that we've unpacked how late-night eating disrupts your insulin, circadian rhythm, liver function, sleep, and inflammation, let's bring it all together into a step-by-step plan you can start using today. This protocol is simple, sustainable, and doesn't require medication. It's built around one powerful principle. When you eat is just as important as what you eat. By aligning your eating window with your natural repair cycles, you can dramatically reduce stroke risk while also improving brain clarity, metabolic flexibility, and energy levels. Step 1. Time your eating window. Intermittent fasting. Start by giving your body a true rest overnight. A 14-10 or 16-8 intermittent fasting rhythm works well for most people. Eat your first meal 1 to 2 hours after waking. Eat your last meal at least 3 to 4 hours before bed. If you typically eat dinner at 9 p.m., gradually move that back to 7 p.m., then 6:30. Even a 90-minute shift can improve sleep, lower insulin, and reduce your early morning cortisol spike. This one change has been shown in multiple studies to improve insulin sensitivity, reduce nocturnal blood pressure, and lower CRP, a key inflammation marker tied to stroke. Step 2. Build a stroke protective dinner plate. Make your evening meal light, anti-inflammatory, and blood sugar friendly. Protein. Wild salmon, pastured eggs, grass-fed beef, or chicken supports neurotransmitters and vascular healing. Healthy fats, olive oil, avocado, walnuts, ghee, reduce inflammation and stabilize glucose. Broccoli, spinach, arugula, zucchini support liver detox and nitric oxide production. Avoid grains, pasta, breads, and anything sweet in the evening. If you need carbs, add a small portion of sweet potato or lentils at lunch instead of dinner. Step 3. Support liver and vascular health with smart supplements. While food timing and quality are the foundation, these can provide additional protection. Magnesium glycinate, 200 to 400 milligrams before bed to relax blood vessels, supports sleep, and reduces nighttime blood pressure. Berberine, 500 milligrams with your last meal to balance blood sugar and improves insulin signaling. Omega-3s from fish oil or algae to reduce clotting risk and improve endothelial function. Nattokinase, 100 milligrams/day to a natural enzyme that may reduce fibrin and support circulation in those at risk. Always check with your doctor before beginning any supplement, especially if you're on blood pressure or anticoagulant medication. Step 4, add gentle movement after your last meal. A 10 to 20 minute walk after dinner lowers post-meal blood sugar by up to 30%, improves insulin clearance, and activates nitric oxide production, keeping blood vessels more flexible and relaxed overnight. You don't need a workout, just move your body. Think dishes, walking the dog, or light stretching. Step 5, create a stroke protective sleep routine. Your brain's most important repair work happens during deep and REM sleep. Protect this window. Dim lights 90 minutes before bed. Avoid screens or use blue blocking filters. Keep your room cool, 65 to 68 DEGF or 18 to 20 DGC. Stick to consistent sleep-wake times, even on weekends. Remember, most strokes happen in the early morning hours when cortisol spikes and blood pressure surges. Protecting your sleep is protecting your brain. Step 6, eliminate late night cravings at the root. Cravings after dinner usually come from blood sugar dips, poor hydration or stress. Solve these at the root. Eat enough healthy fat and protein at dinner. Stay hydrated throughout the day. Don't chug water late. Use herbal teas, chamomile, lemon balm as a calming ritual. Try journaling or box breathing to wind down your nervous system. And if you absolutely must eat something, go for a few almonds or a boiled egg, not cereal, chocolate, or healthy granola bars. This protocol is designed not just to prevent stroke, but to radically improve your metabolic resilience, mental clarity, and energy. It works in harmony with your physiology, not against it. Start with one change. Maybe it's moving dinner up. Maybe it's removing one high-risk food. These small steps compound quickly. Your brain, heart, and body will thank you. Next, we'll wrap up everything we've covered today and give you one final challenge to take action right now. Let's recap what we've uncovered today, because this isn't just about stroke risk. It's about taking control of your biology and protecting the one system you cannot afford to ignore, your brain. We started with a simple but critical insight. What you eat at night and when you eat it can silently raise your stroke risk overnight. Not over decades, but literally while you sleep. You learned that late night eating spikes insulin when your body is least able to handle it, increasing blood pressure and vascular stress. It disrupts your circadian rhythm, confusing your internal clock and blunting melatonin, which is essential for brain healing. It overwhelms your liver, forcing it to process food instead of detoxifying and repairing your brain and arteries. It triggers sympathetic dominance, keeping your nervous system in stress mode, sabotaging your sleep, and increasing stroke risk during early morning hours. You now know which specific foods are silent saboteurs, even the ones marketed as healthy. And finally, you've been given a clear, actionable protocol to reverse this risk naturally through meal timing, smart food choices, targeted supplements, and sleep hygiene. Why does this matter? Because strokes don't just strike the elderly or the unhealthy, they can affect anyone, especially those with silent inflammation, blood sugar dysregulation, or sleep debt. And the truth is, no medication can replace what your body is designed to do when it's in sync. When your liver, hormones, nervous system, and brain are aligned, you heal, you protect, you thrive. So here's your challenge. For the next 7 days, commit to this simple shift. No food within 3 hours of bedtime. Make your evening meal rich in protein, healthy fats, and greens. Cut the sugar, cut the carbs, and cut the kitchen off early. Track how you feel in the morning. Is your brain clearer? Are you less bloated? Is your sleep deeper? That feedback is your body talking to you. Listen to it. And if this helped connect the dots for you, if you feel empowered, clearer, or motivated to take action, then here's what to do next. Like this video to help it reach more people, subscribe to the channel for daily science-based strategies, and most importantly, share this with someone you care about who's eating late, struggling with sleep, or silently carrying inflammation. Stroke is often silent until it's not, but your body gives you signals. Let's start listening and working with it, not against it. You're not just preventing disease, you're building a brain and body that's resilient, focused, and alive. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.